Next, we turn to Piua, which is a Maori Arts and Cultural Institute located next to Wakawerawera. Our guide was very helpful and taught us a lot about his culture.
Then the verb, then the subject. In your language, which order would you teach me?
He told us that he had a PhD. He was highly educated in language, and that was what his background was, language. But very committed to his culture, wanted to share it with us. It was one of the best tour guides that I've ever experienced, and I felt that he had a lot to offer us.
Paper. I never got that back. I have words on there.
So Ivan, what we'll be doing this afternoon, I'm going to be sharing with you our culture, but I will be placing a great emphasis on how the language is important for the maintenance of the culture. For our people, we're very lucky that we've had pockets of our country, our people, maintain an old way of speaking, which today our younger generations can go to and learn that way of speaking as well. So as we head through the guided tour, I will be sharing with you ways in which we think, which means ways in which we speak. Kapwai, okay?
Yep.
Let's head up that way. Follow me this way. What I'm going to do, Yvonne, is I'm going to leave you with Teresa and Hectorina, who are the experts at weaving. They're going to share with you how to work with the flax plant. In essence, share with you how some of this weaving can be turned into garments and other forms of survival gear. So come across.
We were invited to weave a palm leaf. We made a copy of a tree fern, which is a well-known Maori symbol for fertility and birth.
In the leaf. All right? Okay, now we're all going to make the kuru.
How to do another braid. On this last part now, I got the two together.
And the reason why we do this to tie it up so it doesn't come undone. A couple of knots. Got a nice fancy one over there. It's continuation of life goes on.
Look at my camera over there.
How long has your language been written for?
Not really sure.
A couple hundred years, like pre-syllabics.
About 200 years ago, it was then written, your language?
It was written, but it's been around for a really long time.
So the written script of your language has existed for 200 years, but the spoken language has been used for many more years.
Thousands of years, yes, because everything is passed down through stories and orally. Yeah.
Very similar to our people, we did not have a written language to about 200 years ago. So what we did is that we sang, we prayed, we chanted, we told stories, and we carved.
Carving is a very important part of Maori culture. In this shop, the carvers prepare new carvings to replace centuries-old ones on Maori buildings.
They have a really unique culture, and I really love their houses and the carvings and stuff, because it's so incredibly detailed, and they do it all by hand, and it all means something, like every single last bit, and I just find that really, really interesting.
The Maori people, they didn't write in books about their traditional ways and stuff. They carved it into wood, and that's how that's where their stories were.
One of the carvers gave a piece of obsidian to Brian.
I have a thing for rocks. It all comes back from my mother taking me for walks and picking up rocks and telling me stories about the grandfathers. And when we got there, stones were a big part of their culture, which is really cool. As where we have Grandfather Rock, they have stones and whatnot. And I asked where could I get some obsidian, because I've always wanted obsidian and jade, which I picked up, greenstone. Picked up some greenstone in New Zealand, but I wanted some obsidian. But instead I got Grey Wiki. I had picked up a big slab of it, and it's not one of the best carving rocks, but it's a carving rock. Yeah, that rock, it really means a lot to me, because if I have the proper tools, I can actually make one of those carving tools that they have. So I plan to do that one day when I'm older and go carve something, I guess. Culture as a Plains Creek, we believed in preserving Mother Earth, so we did not dig holes when, if not necessary. We didn't cut down trees if we didn't need to use them. Like, we didn't have carvings because our trees are like that thin, so what can you carve out of that?
We've got sweat lodges.
So just like basically your sweat lodges, your teepees.
Sun dances.
Yeah, your sun dances.
Shaking tent
And
lodge.
where did the idea of the TP come from? Where did the idea of the sweat lodge come from?
The teepee was our home.
So it was just, it was flat. The prairies are flat, right?
12 different falls and different.
Yeah, so we needed a shelter. So basically we just cut down some trees, put them like that, and the buffalo gave us the hide. The buffalo gave us our hide, and I'm not too sure on the mathematics of it, but it took so many buffalo to make a teepee, and a family of 10 would live in a teepee, I think. Don't quote me on that.
And each pole means a different meaning too. There's 15 poles. What are all of them?
All our teachings that we like abide to.
Within those poles?
Yes.
Our tour guide took us to the hot springs, geysers, and mud pools and asked us for a reaction to this strange landscape.
We say that we see differently, we taste differently, we speak differently, and we hear differently. So what are some of the things you see when you look at the mud pools?
Mud, bubble, steam, water. Life.
So again, we are in a volcano. There's only 4 kilometers of dirt that separate us from magma beneath us. This is a result of being so close to the magma.
Really?
It's the result of being
4 kilometers only? Wow.